I'm here with Colonel Dave Grossman, and I want to talk to you for a minute about your work and value in the printed word, what you've brought to the community and what you've brought to our nation's warriors and to our nation's sheepdogs, the citizens who are prepared to defend themselves, is just an amazing body of work. Going all the way back to the mid-90s with On Killing, going through On Combat, which I think as a trainer, as a teacher, has been one of the greatest resources for me and for my peers. And now you've got a new book, Sheepdogs, which is really amazing, and I want to talk in detail about that. But give everybody that may not be familiar with the history of your books just a quick overview of On Killing and On Combat.
In 1995, On Killing came out, Pulitzer nominated, and we talked about how to get the average soldier throughout history to kill was kind of hard. And you can really track history as a series of ever better ways to empower people to kill. And how in modern years we've gotten very good with conditioned responses and pop-up targets and how it feels to kill, how people respond to killing. What we did to the Vietnam veteran by sending them to kill and then bringing them back and condemning them. And really a national shame that we've made up for with this new generation of veterans. But in the final section, 1995, 2 years before Jonesboro, 3 years before Columbine, I said, oh, by the way, the video games are doing the exact same thing to kids that the military does to adults with discipline. And when the Jonesboro massacre happened in my hometown, we thought it was my son's school when we first heard about it. I was out there and I've been with all of these ever since, and it's really sunk home. But we talk about the dynamics of killing, still Marine Corps Commandant's required reading, FBI Academy required reading. But as I began to teach on this topic, it was a constant interactive feedback loop. I've been on the road for over 15 years, almost 300 days a year. I have a deep sense of urgency. I believe whatever we're called to do, whatever we're blessed to do, we must do to the utmost of our ability. I love my bride of 38 years, my high school sweetheart. I love my grandchildren. I'm home 1, maybe 2 nights a week. Conjugal visit, clean underwear, back on the road. And I really have this deep sense of urgency to give 100%. But during this process of presenting, it's a constant interactive feedback loop. Every day, I talk to several people who've been in combat, gunfights, police shootings, military situations, and it's a constant reinforcing feedback loop. So finally, in 2002, we took that process and came out with a book on combat. It's now in its 4th edition. We've updated it. We've added more info to it. We're in a revised edition of On Killing now. We've updated that. And they really represent the core. And I agree with you. If somebody is going to read one book on combat, someone I'd want them to read. Issued in the DEA Academy, Marine Corps Commandant's required reading. Others disagree. They like On Killing first, and that don't hurt my feelings. But I'm with you. I think if our listeners were going to start with On Killing, if you want to read them in sequence, if you're going to start with one, just cut to the chase with On Combat. Want to read them in sequence, you're going to read them in sequence, On Killing, and then go to On Combat. And we've been able to touch a lot of lives with these books, translated in a dozen languages now. We've been able to touch a lot of lives. And of course, the whole sheepdog model, when we talked about the sheepdog and On Killing, then we did a whole chapter on the sheepdog and On Combat that has become legendary. It's just floated around the internet. It's become a perennial. People use it for a variety of different places. Cops use it so their spouse understand who they are and why they do it. The sheepdog piece out of On Combat has become legendary. It's just the most traction I've ever gained with anything I've ever written. And then we come up with a new book in which we took the sheep, the wolf, the sheepdog, and we turned it into a children's book.
And this is on the surface, people would say, well, why would you wrote On Killing, you wrote On Combat, and then you wrote a children's book.
Yeah.
But how important is this?
I think it may be the most important book I've ever written. You know, in the back of the book is the original sheepdog piece. And a lot of people find it of great value just for that alone. We pass those around, we've got it, you can read it, you can understand it. It has become one of the most powerful concepts. But from the very beginning, even the cover, let me show you something here. This is a photograph of a young Iraqi boy And you see there's been a bomb gone off the left of the screen and somebody's going to fire into the crowd. Look at the sheepdog. Look at the soldier. Head erect, striding toward the sound of the guns. Look at my little boy back there. Terror in his face. Terror. Here's the exact same scene a split second later. Fast as the camera can click the shutter, here they are. The flock is in full stampede. The sheepdog is striding toward the sound of the guns. And that little boy, he ain't no fool. He knows cover when he sees it. The sheep, the wolf lives to destroy. The sheepdog lives to protect. The wolf says might makes right. The sheepdog says might alone is not strength, and compassion is not weakness. People say, oh, you know, the enemy over there, they're just like us. They're just on the other side. Bull. Oh, one man's freedom fighters, another man's terrorists. They're no different than us. Bull. Our enemy will use children as human shields. The American warrior is a human shield for children. There's all the difference in the world. So we began with the cover, which is the that photograph of the little Iraqi boy hiding behind the American soldier. And it personifies the whole concept that the wolf will use the children as human shields, but the sheepdog is a human shield for the innocent. And we talk about the book, and it opens with a poem of mine that's become very popular. It says, fear not the night. Fear that which walks the night, and I am that which walks the night. But only evil need fear me, and gentle souls sleep safe in their beds because I walk the night. Carpe noctem, seize the night. Any fool can seize the day, we seize the night. My little grandson and I, I'm only home 1 or 2 nights a week. My oldest grandchild's 11 now. Ever since the little guy was 3, we go for a walk in the park. We're from Arkansas, it's hot. We're usually out there late on Saturday night when it finally cools off. It's pitch black. But I got to get outside. After a lifetime in the woods and the desert and the jungle, I miss being out. I've had 1 sick day in 15 years. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but I miss being outside. Just got to get out. A gravel track around a lake outside of town. It's pitch black. Never been a violent crime there. Wouldn't take my little one harm's way. But one night we're walking around this lake. It's pitch black, singing and talking. He says, Grandpa, it's dark. Like he just now discovered. I told him, well, the dark can be our friend. Teach me comfort in the dark. Of course I've got a gun. When I'm out on the road, I can't always carry. When I'm with my grandchildren, I'd rather walk out that door naked and alone, be at my grandbabies without the tools to protect them. Of course I've got a gun. I got a blade. I got a big old German Shepherd. We're walking in the dark. He says, Grandpa, there's scary things in the night. I said, yeah, it's us. You ask my grandson, there's scary things in the night. He says, yeah, it's us. And that really was the core of this poem, to understand that we are the things that go bump at night fear. Yeah? We are the things that the critter under the bed fears. Yeah? So we talk about the fact that there are sheep, and they're good, kind, decent people, and then there are wolves, and the wolf will feed on the sheep. And my little granddaughter loves to say, oh, look back there, and look over there. And then we talk about how, and this is important, I can't tell you how many people told me, all my life I thought there's something wrong with me. All my life I thought I was a wolf, and people said there's something wrong with me. I'm not a wolf. I would never harm the lambs. I'm a sheepdog. And it's like this epiphany for them to realize there's nothing wrong with them. And when we say when they were young, some sheepdogs thought there was something wrong with them. These young pups thought they would grow into wolves. The difference was these pups knew in their hearts that they would never harm the lambs. It was a special day when they realized they were sheepdogs. It's like the story of the ugly duckling who grew up to be a beautiful swan. And we talked about how they've got to train, and how they've got to be away from home and protect the innocent. And then we talked about how the wolf will use the lambs as human shields, but the sheepdog is a human shield for the lambs. And this is kind of deep. We talked about how the sheepdog brings the light to the dark places others fear to go. And they'll be away from home, and they'll miss meals, and they may have to travel to distant lands to hunt the wolf. And they're at sea, and they protect our coastlines, and the wolf says might makes right. The sheepdog says might alone is not strength, and compassion is not weakness. The sheepdog lives to protect. And did you know some sheepdogs don't even wear uniforms? They can be moms and dads, teachers, or regular folks at regular jobs. They're prepared to confront the wolf and protect those around them. like 9/11. And when American sheepdogs began to wake up with let's roll. And we said something very important here. The sheep will die to protect the ones they love. Only the sheepdog loves enough to die for other people's loved ones. But that doesn't make them heroes. They're heroes because they walk out the door every day prepared to lay down their life. Greater love has no one than this, that they give their life for their friends. Being a hero, a true sheepdog, is not a flash of courage, it's a lifetime of sacrifice. Sometimes the ultimate love is not to sacrifice your life, but to live a life of sacrifice. And that's really what the book's all about. We go on to say that in nature they're born that way, but humans can be anything they want to be, and have you got what it takes to be a sheepdog? But it comes down to the heart of the matter that for most of us, the ultimate love is not to sacrifice your life, but to live a life of sacrifice. To place the wealth of others, to place the welfare of others ahead of your own. To walk out the door every day of your life. To carry the life-saving tools, to live in a state of readiness at that moment of truth when our nation and our family and our loved ones need us. With courage and honor, training, skill.
Well, I'll tell you what, I know that the powerful message that's contained in that book is going to change lives. The information that you've provided in the past has been incredibly important. But I think the power in that book, not just for kids, but probably for a lot of parents that will read it also, is incredibly important. So I just want to, for myself, certainly from the training community and from the armed community in America, and probably our entire country, thank you very much. Where can people get the new book?
Sheepdogbook.com. Sheepdogbook.com.
Sheepdogbook.com. That's the place for that resource. You can find these all over the internet and bookstores all around the country. Sir, thank you very much.
It's been an honor.